everybody. Welcome to Sugar Beats. I'm Preston O'Phil, and I'm sitting here with my improv partner and best friend, Patrick Newson.
Hello.
I'm so happy to have you on here, man. Yeah. We've been working together since 2015, and it's just been a joyride ever since.
Absolutely.
We'll get into the history of us, but he came in with a bit already, and I just kind of want to get into this. So what were you saying right before we started?
Before I left the house, I was watching The Patriot, and it was with the discussion between, like, there's the bad guy, essentially, who was Lucius Malfoy and Harry Potter.
Oh, sure, the blonde kid?
Yeah. Well, no, that's Draco.
Oh,
no,
the dad?
The dad.
Everyone's a kid of God.
Right. And he's in a whole bunch of stuff, but he's playing the bad guy and everything. And so you've got Mel Gibson with an American accent, and then you've got this guy with the British accent. And my whole thing was, like, they're not very far apart from, like, coming over, you know? But then at what point in time did they just go, well, I'm not speaking like that anymore? We don't feel ourselves to be represented. No taxation without representation. I'm changing my accent.
You're saying there was like a room of people, and they're all like, hello,
right. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
And then
he's
someone's
like, I don't think we should talk like that anymore. And then he's like, well, what about this?
What do you think of this accent?
No. How about this one? They're like, oh yeah.
What if I said everything like this? Ketchup, hot dog. What's this?
I don't think we should call the trolleys anymore either.
What you mean?
I'm changing it. Yeah.
Well, we're still gonna go to the loo.
Nope. It's gonna be the toilet.
What?
Yeah. And then one day we're going to short it to bathroom.
No, the washroom.
No, bathroom.
Oh, well, at least we'll still have a nice labor force of chimney sweeps.
Nope, we're not going to do that anymore either.
What, tip-top teriyaki?
No, we're just going to start house fires.
We're just going to storm the Capitol years from now.
Right. Yeah.
Like real patriots.
Right. And we won't even speak like this anymore either. It's going to be this thing it's going to be called meth. You mean meth? No, meth.
No, meth. Say it with me.
Meth.
Well,
we're gonna enunciate all of our THs because we're American.
Isn't that right, Beth? It's Beth.
It's Beth now.
Beth and Botty Works.
That's not who I'm married.
But you, me wife.
I am your wife.
I am your wife.
He doesn't speak American. It's okay. He's learning.
I like. Well,
I don't know. That's just what I thought of.
Yeah, but there has to be a time where, because we came over in like 1620, something like that. Yeah. And then you and me, came over in 1620.
Yes.
Real Brits.
Yeah.
Real, teacups.
Good teacups.
Oh, we're just going to
bangers and mash.
What's some bangers and mash?
Well, it's sausage and potatoes.
And mash.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Bangers and mash. Why sausage banger?
I don't know. They got food called spotted dick. I don't want that either.
The culture's weird, but it's what we were born from.
Right. Well, so who's weird? Are they weird? Or are we weird?
We all kind of come from a weird place, right? We're all bangers at the end of the day. So in 1920, the bangers come over.
The bangers come over.
The bangers
and they're like, I want to be called sausages. Like, well, everybody else did it, so.
Well, I love too the idea because 1776. So somewhere in there, those years, an American accent was formed, but not just this is how I talk now.
Right.
But like the Bostonians started, and of course I don't know the history of any of this, but I think your Northeastern accent started. But then someone had to say, I know you sound different and we don't want to sound like Brits. So we're going to start talking like this, and this is where that accent's going to go now.
I think because of being up in the north, I think just to like discern ourselves, we're going to talk like this, and it's about time.
Ooh, I'm really chilly.
Right? Oh, God. Chilly. Oh, gosh, yes.
Oh, gosh. Hey,
it's going to make a hot dish. I think that's a casserole. Nope, not here.
Nope, bangers and mash.
And then you go down, and then they're just like, screw it.
This is how we're all going to talk now.
How we're going to talk now. Don't even worry about it. Anyone saying anything.
I
don't even know.
But then somehow it overcorrects itself by getting back to California. And now, you've got still, a little bit of that classic, this is how we're going to sound.
Like a surfing dog in a movie?
Everyone in California, in my head, sounds like a surfing dog from a movie. I'm saying that. I'm coming for you, California
that's
nights.
Right.
You all sound like cartoon surfing dogs. Scooby Dooby Doo.
My gosh.
Hang 10. Yeah.
Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah. Yeah. Accents are the crazy. It's just so fun to think that there was a room full of people bangers and mash.
And then they're like, I don't want to talk like that anymore.
Oh.
Well, what were you thinking? I think something like this. Just something a little, softer, a little bit more, whatever. But yeah.
I'd like to think, picture, if you will, not a room, but they just left the room. And it's like some red coaty, kind of disgruntled people. And they're upset, but they're not mad. But they're walking out of the room.
They're
and
just tweaked a little bit.
Little tweak. They're about to cross the road, and a horse and a carriage vroom, go by, and they go, "Oh, very nice." And then as they get cut off, they go, "Oh, very nice. Hey, I'm walking here." That sounded exquisite.
We should do that from now on.
What did you say?
I said, hey, I'm walking here.
No, it's not how you said it. You said it a little different.
Hey, I'm walking here.
The attitude's what I like with it. Let's try that.
I also like to think about how the founding fathers talk just because we always, whenever there's a representation in school, they would show the videos or something, and they'd have someone talking like this. We will separate from England and form our own perfect union. But what if it was like Thomas Jefferson was like, okay, we're gonna go now, and we're gonna just start a more perfect union. It's gonna look better in writing, okay? Don't even worry about it, because I'm gonna make it right. And you all know that I have the best penmanship. I'm not like John Hancock. John Hancock, you did big letters. You're gonna write first, just so we have some space. But everyone else, you're gonna really love my ideas. So it's gonna be a Declaration of Independence.
All right, you hosers, let's all sign our names. Huh? Come on, gather around,
Right,
buddy.
John Hancock. I always blush when I say his name. John, get up here. You're first. I don't even other than writing his name first, I'm not sure what he gave to that thing, but he just seems like he's that that ran up and he was right in front,
big, right next to the thing.
I know, right? So everybody used to sign the wall for the theater. Did you guys sign walls and stuff?
Oh, we signed multiple walls.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We signed the black box, we signed the stage, and then we also signed in the choir room.
Oh my good God! No,
Not
we would make a painting of the show kind of thing. So it was Little Shop, and then so my first play in high school was Dracula, and I built this. We had this big ornate bat that was over the stage. It was really cool. So we ended up hanging that up and signing it. And then it was there for ever until they took it down for whatever purposes. But the whole thing was always don't write above the name of the show, because no one's bigger than the show. Yeah. And then that went away, after a while. But at the same time, we would all sign the wall. So the person who painted it would sign first, and then everybody else. So that's why I'm like, John Hancock, he didn't write the thing and whatever. He's just first in line.
There's some tenor who's going to put their name in the A of the Dracula. Yeah, for sure.
Wait, why is he a tenor? It's not a musical. Dracula the musical?
Oh, you've never heard of Dracula the musical?
No.
A lot of people liked it. I personally thought it sucked.
Oh, God. So I'm looking for new partners. It's been a while, but at any rate.
Man, I wonder if they got rid of the bat because it might have just been a big scary bat.
No, they did a remodel on the whole school. And then so I guess there was some pipe that had to come through that wall and go across whatever. And so they got rid of the bat. And I was like, why didn't someone call me? I would have taken that thing. I don't know where I would put it. Yeah, but I would it was the first thing I ever did. And
it's over the stove.
Yeah, right. She was like, nah. But I would have stored it or something, found somewhere to put it, hang it up during Halloween. I don't know.
And some people have their light up neon bar signs that they keep in their house. Why can't you have a giant bat signed by a ton of kids?
Spans the stage. It was big. There's no place that I could have put this. But at the same time, I would have liked to have been asked.
Man, it's just rude that they didn't even think about you. Because
your
freshman year, you did Dracula. So you must have been were you the vampire? Or?
No. I made the bat. Oh. No, I was crew. I didn't get on stage until probably sophomore year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that show?
Matchmaker.
Oh, who doesn't love Matchmaker?
Yeah. I was understudy for, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the character.
The Match?
No, it was the maker, I think. No. No, so I was a no named dancer, but I was also understudy. I want to say the name was Barnaby. I don't know the character. Yeah. And then it wasn't until I think we did Oliver that year. And I was the worst. I was the one. So I had a name. I was not like an unnamed orphan, but I may as well have been.
Sure.
There's a character in Oliver the Musical, and his name is Charlie Bates. And yeah, right?
I know that name.
Yeah, because he's a character in Oliver. But he literally has like a line. He's got like a line.
Do you remember the line? I mean, are you setting up? Are we
No,
about to
I don't
see
remember the line.
You don't remember the one line?
No. It was so like just, and it was the weirdest thing to have like, I've got a character name, but like, I'm not really a part of the show.
My version of that was I was in Guys and Dolls in middle school, and I was Angie the Ox, and he has one line as well, and it's literally everyone's leaving after the craps game has been played, and he's like, "Did you hear Sky Masterson is in town?" And then I walked off stage and I changed costume to not be recognized in the mass of people. But I remember that line.
I remember that line. But yeah, no, that's one thing because I remember hearing about it on I can't remember what the podcast was, but Adam Sandler and I have that in common. We were both Charlie Bates in Oliver, and it was just a nothing part. But I was like, I have a name, as opposed to just like random guy.
Didn't you also do that play about the guy who goes on 50 first dates?
Yeah.
Oh man, you and
the
him
Waterboy.
The Waterboy, the play. I think they turned that into a musical, didn't they?
They did. Waterboy the musical. It sucked.
It sucked. Man, well, we've been working together for years, and it's been,
exhausting.
A treat. What?
What
did you say?
I said a treat.
Oh, Dracula was great. I heard great reviews.
Sucks.
We met in 2015. We started doing shows at I.O. in Chicago, and obviously then started touring together with our improv duo as well.
Right.
That's been a really good time. You are someone who I look up to in performance. Yeah. So now that I've said you're good, my question to you is, what is the worst that you've ever had on stage? That's either your own performance or the crowd just being absolutely wretched to you.
Oh my god!
Which I'm sure you're used to.
Well, we were in Yorkville for a short time, and Yorkville is just awesome. No, but we had
keep hiring us. They are awesome.
Yeah, we had where was it that someone threw a can?
That was Yorkville.
Was that Yorkville? Yeah, someone threw a can. So that was. I don't want to say her name, but that was my friend's birthday party. And
can I just say, if you're telling a story about the worst audience member and you still know her name?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because it was the same name as the person whose birthday party it was.
That's rough.
It was Kelly and Little Kelly.
Call her out.
Call her out. I don't care. Little, you know what you did.
We're coming for you, Kelly.
You know what you did, Kelly. Little Kelly. It was Kelly's birthday. But so here's the thing. In their defense, they have a defense.
Okay.
We were 35 minutes away from Naperville and Aurora, where these people were. They were they got a party bus. So they had been 40 minutes of just probably mainlining like White Claws.
Right. It was
the entire time.
I believe it was high noon is what they said they were drinking. Yes,
and she was 5 pounds.
Yeah.
That little girl, and she was just shammered.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, I think it was like, here, you want a high noon? And then threw it on stage.
Dude, she was like, at a certain point, her hands and head were just on the table, and she was just talking down to her lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, can I get a suggestion? But just the audacity to want to toss a can on stage.
Oh, I know.
And then just be shocked that we were mad.
Well, that's the thing. Well, and that's the one thing, because there's always this weird, I don't know why they think this or why they get this. There's always the one person who's got to talk shit in the audience, and they go, what? I was helping you out. No, you weren't.
We had that gig a couple months ago where the dude just kept yelling the name Seinfeld for every suggestion.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, we even tried doing something with it, and he still kept going for it. And it's like, at the end when we talked to him, he was like, didn't I help out your show? I gave you guys a joke.
Yeah, this was at intermission. I mean, he's like, oh, man, sorry, I'm just trying to help. I go, stop.
Yeah, you're not helping.
We don't need your help.
Yeah.
We're good.
We got a room full.
We got a
of about 100
whole thing.
people. We're fine.
A whole thing we're doing. Ugh,
Ridiculous.
the worst. Then there was in Green Bay where we were doing like a stage whisper, and then the guy's like, no side conversations. He's like, no side conversation. I'm like, first of all, what are you, like, the improv police? You always gotta love the people that like they think they know. I was doing a trivia and I didn't have like a bonus question. Usually a bonus question is put on Facebook. And a woman comes up to me and goes, where's the bonus question? And I'm like, there's no bonus question. If you do one for one event, you have to do them all for all of them. And I'm like, says who?
Yeah, what are you, the
And this was great
trivia
because
police?
she invented like a fake boss for me, and her name was Emily. It was great. She goes, "That's fine. I know Emily. I'll talk to her." I'm like, who's Emily?
Oh, that's the other birthday girl. She was
Right? And she's like, I'm like, who's? She's like, your boss. And I'm like, I'm my boss. Like literally, I'm my boss. Like I don't know who this person is, but now I'm scared that I'm gonna get called into her office because I didn't know I had a boss. But
You knock on the door, you look, it says Emily.
it says Emily. I'm like, where did this door come from? Like it just appears.
Is this a walk-in fridge?
Right?
Hello?
Hello?
Come in.
Come in. We need to talk about your performance.
Welcome to the chamber of Emily.
Where's the bonus question?
I've got a bit of trivia for you.
Hmm.
Do you know who complained?
That one. No, but yeah, it's just they all of a sudden become like, and I remember too because I was in the middle of the rules, and then at the end I go, well, the last rule is have a good time, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that because the trivia police is right over there. It's just like, good Lord.
Here's a bonus question. Who wants to throw food at that table?
Right? Oh my God, it's the worst.
We had I had one that I went out to an open mic. Typically, this is a club, a bar that only does stand up. They were doing an improv night for the first time ever, and they were doing what's called a jam. That's just an open mic for improv. You show up, you get to do some games, get to do some scenes. It's fun. It's a good time. But there are a lot of people on stage who were not also performers. This was a moment where someone who was not a performer was on stage doing a bit, trying to be a president, reading some sort of transcript to the news. Somebody in the audience thought it would be funny to throw a shoe at them. George Bush reference, right? There's
Right.
their defense. Except they threw
Topical.
a shoe at someone on stage. So I saw that happen. I sweep the scene and I come on and I bring my beer with me and I grab that person's shoe and I start doing a scene about wanting to make a cocktail and not having a glass to use. So having to come up with something new and basically threatening to pour my drink in this guy's shoe. Some of his friends come on stage and they're like, hey, like, I think he was just like joking around. You're not actually going to do it. And I was like, well, he should have thought about that before he threw a shoe at me.
Well, I
But I'm
figured
not
this is mine now.
Exactly. I'm going to wear the shoe if I want to wear it.
Yeah, he gave it to me.
Gave him every warning I can, and I was like, but I'm not actually going to do it. And then he threw a second shoe at me. So I dumped my whole beer in his shoe, obviously. And like, it was
Obviously.
so cathartic. It was
Escalated so quickly.
years of hecklers. And I'm like, this
This
isn't
shoe-
just you,
this
but I'm
is-
taking it out on you.
Taking it out on your footwear.
No pun intended, but I felt it in my soul.
But the worst.
It,
but yeah,
it healed me.
no, stop.
Too
Okay.
tongue in cheek, shoe tongue.
Oh,
It was so fun. And he tried coming on, and his defense was, hey, you know, my life is hard. I'm a teacher, where then people booed him fairly because he tried saying he's a teacher and that's why we should feel bad. And then he was like, let me just buy you guys some shots. And I'm like,
really
right.
made up for it.
yeah. Normally that move I hate, but in that case, I was like so wound up to then like, I felt so cathartic after
I'm
doing
not
it.
opposed to going, I don't want your shot.
I would say most of the time I do that.
Yeah,
Because
I don't want
a
your
lot
shot
of-
because that'll make you feel better, and I don't want that right now.
Exactly.
Because you deserve to feel like crap in your squishy, squashy shoe.
Well, and like also I'll say mostly guys who are the ones who are like, let me be a dick to you in the crowd and then try to buy you a shot. I ain't gonna buy my love.
Women do not do that.
No, they just are dicks to you and then they're like, sorry. And you're like, you're drunk.
I just had so many White Claws.
Go home. It's always alcohol. Literally, any bad audience member, they're probably drunk.
Well, there's that one.
Sucks.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show though that they, like I said, they want to. There's that one episode of Louis where he goes to the woman in the audience for heckle who's talking the entire time,
yeah.
and then says, you ruined that guy's time on stage. Like that's the time that they get to be like happy, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes for that day is when they're happiest, and you ruin that. And it just goes like people, they don't know and they don't get up there, but I'm trying to help you. We don't want your help.
You know what
We don't want your help. We don't want your footwear.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no footwear.
No
specifically.
footwear specifically. I want someone's shoe.
I don't know. What kind of shoe? Like you throwing a Yeezy at me?
Yeah, but then you only have one.
I'm going to bait them for the second one, right?
Right.
Now
And,
that's the game. So here's what happens. Don't throw a shoe at me, but if you do throw a Yeezy at me, I am going to try to get the second one.
And it's got to be what size shoe?
10.5.
It's got to be a dainty 10.5.
Dainty. I don't think I said that part of it, but
It's going to be a petite, little, dainty 10.5.
some people have flat feet. I have dainty feet.
Dainty is ballerina feet.
Nice. Listen, ballerinas have messed up feet.
Oh, I know.
Not coming for the ballet community, but your feet are hooves, is what I'm saying.
All of a sudden you hear like.
What did he say? Spinning jump.
Anybody hear tool rustling?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, just so many bad shows. There have been a lot of great shows, obviously.
Sure.
Tons. I think anytime we go down to Tampa Bay, we always
yeah.
have a good time. There's an improv festival down there at the Countdown Improv Festival. We actually just got signed up for that. And
As a legacy act.
oh, we're so cool.
I love it.
Yeah, because this will be our 4th or 5th year now.
That's technically our fourth.
4th, counting the
One,
COVID
two,
online
three.
thing. Right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
3 in person. Why do I feel like it's?
No, it's 3 in person, and then the one was online.
But now this will be our 4th time in person.
Yes.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So this will be our 5th. I don't know, man.
No. This will be our 3rd
In person.
in person.
This is really good
Our
content.
4th.
I feel.
Yeah, right.
This is really good watch
Yeah,
stuff. Hey,
listen.
let's burp really quick. 1, 2, 3. There we go. It keeps the retention up.
Right. No. Yeah. It'll be our 4th appearance,
And I'm really
but
excited.
3rd in person.
But every time we go, we always
Have
had
a great time.
an excellent time. The crowd is
Sure.
good. The company is good. Everyone who performs there is really great. I love it. I love shows down there. Most of the time, those Green Bay shows have been really promising for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going down to Kansas City March 31st and April 1st. This will come out before then. So that will be fun. Anyone in KC come out. We're actually doing, that'll be a fun one. Let me plug this really quick. So you, me, our friend Emily Ramirez, who's a friend of the podcast, and Annie Farwell, who will be on here later as well. We're all going down and we are going to represent Chicago for a comedy competition down in Kansas City. And it's going to be KC's best improvisers versus Chicago's best improvisers. And one of the teams is going to win, but I think we both know.
So it's
You do not leave me hanging.
really feed the chicken. Feed the chicken. Feed the
Come
chicken.
on.
It's yeah. I mean, it's all about getting 2 communities together
Oh,
and the one that invented it destroying them. No.
they may win, but they'll only come Del Close.
Ew.
Ugh,
Ew.
right? Right?
So I'm looking for a new team to bring down to Kansas City.
We're going to come down and do a Herald.
Right.
No.
No.
I'm really excited, though. The show
Yeah.
is going to be great. It's going to be at the Kansas City Improv Company. We'll do it March 31st and April 1st. Both shows are going to be great. I think the April 1st one is going to be a little bit more hype just because it's the April Fool's show. But there was something so fun about getting to book a gig with
Yeah.
3 of my other friends and bring them down to, I'm from Kansas City, so bring them down to this community that over my life and then really the past few years, I've been going back and trying to build up a bit of an improv community to be able to work with and play with.
I'm just glad that I don't have to drive.
I will be driving the whole time. I love to drive.
Yeah, but I don't let him drive my car.
That's the problem. So we normally take his car, which is just a Jeep, right?
It's a Jeep Commander.
Jeep Commander. And normally, because it's his car, he's
I
a little
drive
bit
it.
controlling. So he'll have to drive the whole time. But the farthest we've ever had to drive is like Wisconsin, right?
Well, we drove to Kansas,
Oh, wait.
but
yeah,
not for a gig. But we
did
drove to
drive
Kansas.
That's a long drive.
But no, when we drove to
9 hours.
Wisconsin and my sunroof fell off
Oh,
at
wait.
80 miles an hour.
No, Patrick, what is that story?
Okay, so I don't know if like the brackets were rusted or something, but all of a sudden we hear like a rumbling, and then my sunroof just flies back and just detaches from the car.
It completely pulverized, turns into a powder. He's driving, so I'm in the passenger seat. So I'm able to hear the sound. We're both able to kind of like share a moment of like, do you hear that?
What?
And then and I'm able to turn around and see just dust going behind us. And thankfully, no cars were
Oh, my
behind us.
God.
We pulled over, we checked all the highway and just to make sure nothing of
Yeah.
danger was there. Once we found it was good, we had to go to Home Depot.
And create the janky. Well, it wasn't even janky. I'm sorry. No, that could have withstood rain.
Didn't your car person
Yeah,
say?
the guy, he's like, this is a good job. He's like, this is a good job. He's
If
like,
I'm-
this is good.
We
I'm
got
like,
the
well,
mechanic stamp of approval.
yeah. But yeah, that was just, and it was this pink styrofoam thing, and then it was duct taped, and then it was taped on the inside, and it was just ridiculous. But that was a good set too, because that was the one with because I was trying to find it. That was the Party City one.
Oh, that one was so funny.
And it's always great when you have somebody be like, you even talked about like the dangers of alcoholism, like, because it's like the things when they go through this overarching like story, and it's when we're like at our best, because you can't just go up there and just be like, you all of a sudden you have like a parable about the dangers of alcoholism, but it's when we're like at our best and we're really listening and we're really doing a thing and driving through it and coming and finding to these things. But it was also the set that would never end. And it turns out because it was such a good set, the lights guy was watching and then no way watching the clock. And we're like, the thing about, and most people don't, I don't know if you guys talk about it, it's a boring process story, but at the same time, it's like the whole aspect about when you're going through a scene, and usually I'd say it's me because I'm aware of the time and everything, and I'm looking for that out to give that out. Because once I know where we are and everything, I was like, okay, we're going to give them that line, or we're going to give them that moment that they could black out. This thing had 4 because
It's called a button. It's
a button. Yeah, it's a button. It's essentially that. Now this is done, and it comes out on a really good. This thing had 4. Yeah. Because the guy was watching.
Which is like such a nice compliment. But if you're going to be the tech person, you got to stay on top of that.
But
in that show specifically, we have a timer put on the downstage.
And it's flashing zeros at us. And we're like, okay, outline. Now, finally, Preston goes, we've been, like, never once in the history of ever, we literally took ourselves off stage because Preston's just like, we're never going to get it. It's fine.
Well, it's like, yay, we're hitting so many great buttons and so happy that the crowd loved it. I loved it too. And also, I know there's going to reach a point where we're out of buttons, and now it's just a downhill that we can't get back from. So it's like we had to try something. So embarrassing to be like, and see.
You can see it though in the video too, because I don't really hide my emotions well. But you're like, I'm better, and I'm just like,
Thank God.
I wave and I turn and walk off stage because I'm over it and I'm emotionally exhausted because I was like, is this guy gonna turn off the lights at any moment, please?
Took forever.
Yeah, and then I almost got arrested because Weedy McSmokes-a-Lot decided to leave a.
It was a pre-roll package of joints that were empty, but I had brought them up with me and was partaking in the parking lot the night before and set the case on the back of his car and then forgot about it.
And
so
this is Wisconsin. Like
illegal.
We would have been like on like front page news. I had a friend who got.
Gosh golly, boys from the city come up and cause trouble.
Right. No, she got busted in Indiana for possession of like.
Oh yeah.
A small amount of marijuana, and she was on the like top like banner of the internet thing. Like,
oh my God,
they were touting her out as, and it was like her mugshot, and they like touted her out as like, this is a big bust against crime. Like McGruff, the crime dog, is coming here personally to shake my hand and wag his tail, and like they were like, and it was a big deal, and I was like, I'm not gonna end up on the Green Bay Times.
Knock on wood.
Right.
It's only until time. Yeah, I felt horrible for that, but it was very funny to come back. And before we got in the car, he'd put something in the trunk, and just both of us acknowledging that we see it
Right.
before anything was said. And I'm like, ooh, if I walked just this much faster, I could have like knocked it out of the way.
That's the other thing about being partners with Preston and Preston getting older is he doesn't necessarily like want to like rage anymore. Which and I don't mind having a good time, but especially when traveling and you do the show and everything like that.
You can only do it so much.
I can only do so much, but like I remember the first year in Tampa, he went to the after party, but I was in work because I was gonna have a hernia surgery like a day after we got back from Florida, and we had gone to Disney World.
Yeah, okay. I want to hear that. Let's hear the party story and then Disney.
So it was Disney first. We spent all day at Disney. And walked 8 miles
with my buddy who hooked us up with like fast passes, and we got to do essentially like backstage tours. It was an incredible experience. Definitely the way to do Disney, but
I had a hernia, and I was gonna be getting.
Doctor said, "Don't walk around
a bunch." And Preston's like, "What if we went to 2 theme parks and walked 8 miles at an extraordinary pace?" I was still probably about 40 pounds heavier. And it was 100 degrees.
Well, and I hadn't seen my friend in so long,
and he hadn't seen his friend, and they're just walking through, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let him go. But then by the time
you kept up.
Oh yeah, but by the time we got back, I was exhausted. I'm like, I'm gonna watch TV and hang out. And Preston's like, let's go to the after party, and I was like, no, I will not do it. And so I stayed there. And one of my favorite things too is Preston will always leave the ironing board out.
It's good counter space is what it is. Especially in a smaller hotel, you can use that to get more space to put your things.
Yeah.
And also you can iron on it too if you want.
So I just remember being like, I'm going to stay awake because I don't want his dumb tripping over the ironing board in the dark. And I stayed awake and I was like, good, you're back. I'm going to sleep. And he's like sachets in. I had the most wonderful night. And just wanted to talk. And I'm like, no.
Well, and this was also, I had gone to, so we did the shows. Then there was the like cast after party. And then I went to the bars after. And then we went to somebody's hotel with just like 6 packs. And just, it was like me and 5 other people. Yeah. So we closed everything down. It was a great feeling.
Sure.
But.
And I'm like, I'm going to sleep. Because we had a flight in the morning. And he's
early flight.
And he wanted to tell me all about it. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. And he's, but it was magical. I'm like, no. Yeah. And then I remember like, turn off the lights.
I had gone to Disney right before that. Then I got to do improv and hang out with people, funny people, my favorite kind.
And I'm like, turn out the lights. And he's like, all right, fine. Guess it's good. And then all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, I am going to murder you.
I didn't have a glass of water.
Right. And so all I have is this beer. And I'm like, I hate you so much.
What if I get cottonmouth in the middle of the night and I wake up?
That was the only, like, the closest, because too, like, the next day, too, when we almost missed that flight because my phone wasn't working and you still had this dinosaur of a phone.
Yeah, iPhone 4.
I was so angry, and we just made it. We get on the plane just in time for them to go, yeah, we're going to delay you guys for an hour. And we had to get off the plane.
Who were you sitting next to?
I was sitting next to a Trump supporter.
How'd you know he was a Trump supporter?
He was wearing full Trump regalia. Like he had the hat and he had a shirt that said, yeah, I voted for Trump and I'm going to do it again. Trump 2020.
There's something about the art of not being subtle that I like.
But my favorite, to this day, my favorite was he's like, I'm literally wearing a Ramones, like a vintage Ramones shirt.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and goes, who'd you vote for? And I'm like, Trump. And he goes, good man. And then the guy in front of him looks back at me and I go,
no. Not even a little. No. I just don't want to be killed by the man I'm sitting next to.
Yeah, it was just the worst. And then we got off and then we got back on and he was super rude.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ugh. By the end of it, I was like, all right, bye, Preston. I'm out.
Peace. Oh, that was the only trip that we both ever in our history of traveling gotten to the airport. And you literally, it was kind of a goodbye, but it was I'm walking this way. Yeah. I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going to go to my car now. And I'm like, I'm going to go take the CTA and I'm going to call my parents and tell them all about this.
Talk to somebody about my amazing night last night.
Dear diary. Remember when we were at the bar was it North Carolina airport? or
South Carolina.
South Carolina Airport, and they had a bar right next to the entrance, which I think is a great spot for a bar. And it was so fun because we were sitting there, and the gal who was working you had two options for drink size. You had small and large, but the way she was selling it is, do you want an adult size or do you want a kid size?
Right.
And literally just a bar full of guys just bullying other guys to
drink
pay
more.
more.
Well, that's how I used to when I served. That's how I used to serve drinks. I would say, "Do you want the tall or the small?"
Oh, right, that subliminal.
And
you
they'd
want
be like,
tall
"Oh,
beer.
the tall one. You give me a tall beer."
It's all about
That
nodding
wasn't
that
even
head.
that was the only flight that I was ever scared of dying on.
Well,
Because remember the storm? Like, it was a storm. Like, it was a wall. Like, and I was really excited because I thought we were going to be delayed a couple hours, which means I got to use my the credit card thing and go to the Admiral's thing for like $60, and we could drink a bunch and eat a bunch. And I was like so excited, and they're like, "No, we're flying." And I was looking at the radar, and I was like, "Are we flying?" And I remember because it was like,
I'm sorry. We said we're dying. I'm so sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry, I said we're dying. Like, we were tossed around up there too. Like,
Yeah.
it was like,
Was that Frontier?
no, that was American.
American?
But still, like, I saw the radar, and it was like green and like orange, and I'm like, that's not good.
We're gonna have
Like, that's not good at all.
if I'm not mistaken, the Trump trip, or was it that trip where I kept saying at least it could
Oh, at least it couldn't get any worse. Every time I go, don't say that before you get on a plane ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
It was really funny to me.
it's hard to do it too because we got on the thing and you're like, well, at least this can't get any worse. And then they go over that thing to tell us that we're delayed.
Yeah.
And I remember you looking over the seat like back at me, and I'm like, you. But
I've been told that my grin is very punchable.
yes, you definitely have a
which
punchable
I think
face.
is a fair comment.
You definitely have a punchable face.
I like to be a little trickster sometime, get a little tricky.
Oh my
and it
God.
was so fun to watch everything go wrong and Patrick just get more mad and more mad. And then just the ability to say, well, at least it couldn't get any worse. Like, just
And then
set
there was
you off so
the one
hard.
more was you text me that when we landed.
Yes.
And then they were like, we don't have our terminal ready, so we're just going to have to hold here for a couple minutes. And I was like, I hate you so much, President Phil. And I yelled it over the plate now. But that's one of the reasons why, because when we got off, I was like, I'm out.
This is your pilot speaking. I have someone up here who has a message for one of the passengers. Yeah, give me the. I hate you, President Phil.
We don't really use this for this. You shut up.
You said you were going to propose. What are you doing?
You're a frontier pilot. Barely a pilot.
I mean, we've had some really good travel times. We've had
yeah.
bad travel.
I think once we
experience.
got to grown up and we decided let's get there early because we're no longer like running for the plane or anything like that, but we can go we'll have a leisurely lunch. And the one thing about Tampa is the cool thing because it's usually Sunday, so we could watch football in the food court, or this time we went to the bougie one.
Yeah, which ends up price-wise, I feel like being the better option because we're gonna get a drink or two, we're gonna eat an entree, we're hanging out for a while. Yeah.
And then just kind of like because it was literally right across from the thing. But yeah, the people, and when I recently went to Universal, and they were like, Ronnie was like, yeah, sorry, my mom likes to get there early. I'm like, nope, I do too.
Yeah, you never know.
And I was like, we're going to get it super early too because I'm TSA pre-check. So
he holds this one over my head a lot.
Listen, right here, get TSA pre-check, guys. It's just the best thing ever. You don't have to take your shoes off. If you have a belt, you have to take a belt. You take your thing, go through. They already know your number, $80. It's the best thing ever. And then it goes up, the more you know.
It is so weird that they just let you pay $80 to skip everything.
No, they do the background check.
Well, they do your background check, but day of, they're like, oh, come on in.
What?
Right?
What's the problem with that?
Well, do they make you scan your stuff as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, you're not just rolling through.
So this is a misconception I had. I thought they just let you into the airport and they're like, he paid $80.
He paid $80.
No
he must
guns
be
in there.
No, it still goes on the conveyor belt.
I mean, for years I thought I'm like,
fine.
can I put drugs in your bag sometimes so you can just take them on the plane? No, obviously no.
no.
That's why you got to take Pro Trip. Take a train. They don't scan for security or
Right.
anything, so that's an easier thing. But oh, okay. So they check all of that with TSA.
Yeah, of course it did. I could be like, well, he had $80. They must have no,
That
the
is-
worst one was like, because like our flight, the Southwest flight, which the worst, it was delayed.
Free bags, free
because-
bags.
That's true. It was delayed because they had problems locking the cockpit door, and I was like, what if we all just promise to be cool? Like we'll pinky it on the way in. Can we just go? I just want to go back to Chicago. Like, and now because they have that at O'Hare,
Yeah.
it's at the international terminal,
Yeah,
and that's a walk.
yeah.
That is a walk. I was like, dude, and then like, of course, like the moving sidewalks aren't like fully installed yet and everything like that. But yeah, it was just like, and the worst thing is nobody knows anything, especially when it comes to Southwest. Nobody knows anything. Like they moved us to another terminal, another gate, and within minutes it was canceled.
Yeah.
And like, but nobody had gone over, because they don't know. And then I'll never forget, we got up and I said, there's a flight going to O'Hare? They're like, yeah, but you only have like 5 or 10 minutes to figure out if you, I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
there's nothing to figure out.
I want to go home.
Why would people go, oh, but and the only thing is I go,
Starbucks.
but this was my thing. I go, well, where's my luggage going to go? And they go, to Midway. Here's my problem with this.
You better have a problem.
I do. Here's my problem. If my luggage could go to Midway, why can't I go to Midway? You know?
See,
Like,
so here,
how is my luggage
here's a tip
getting
for
there?
Patrick. Mr. TSA pre-check. What he doesn't know is I bring a dog crate with me every time I travel,
Right.
just in case this happens, so I can get in with the luggage, and I'll go every time. I've never been delayed on a flight because I pretend to be a dog, and they put me in under the airplane,
Right.
and I fly with all the luggage.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But I'm just wondering, but I still wonder if my luggage went to Midway, why couldn't I go to Midway? Like how?
Cut to the airplane. It's just all the stewards and stewardesses like stretched out on the plane.
But our luggage are in the seats.
Buckle up. Hey, did you hit
Hey.
the attendant button? Did you need something? No. Are you smoking in there?
it was my, and I was very worried because it was my bag, my new bag that I got that I love.
It's a nice
It's a
bag.
nice bag because someone thought I was an influencer.
And you are. And you are.
I totally am.
And I am too. I want that suitcase still. I'm still in the process.
I did the requisite photos. I did the whole thing that I had to do for my. How many Instagram followers do I have? 100.
It is pretty funny that the suitcase company needed to look at you and be like, yeah, he looks like a suitcase guy. Yeah, we can get it. Yeah,
Well, but here's the thing. Like, you after every show will talk to every single person and get their Instagram and be like, yeah, follow me here. Let me watch you, and you just like get that.
That's kind of how the sale works.
Right.
Let me watch you.
And I want to talk to absolutely nobody and could give a damn about Instagram. But they come to me and they're like, he looks like he needs a free bag that usually costs $500.
I have
And
more
he
followers. than
is, I know.
I have more followers.
I know. Maybe they didn't want people who try too hard.
Ooh. They're like, we see what he looks like. That's a suitcase boy. This guy,
tries too hard.
he gets a backpack. I'll take a free backpack. I actually just got a new backpack from Everlane, and it is phenomenal. Made of recycled material. It's big. You can fit 3 outfits in there, a pair of shoes, a laptop, water bottle, everything.
I literally, just because I've outgrown the bag that I carry all my sound equipment stuff in, I literally just bought one of those combat backpacks.
Ooh.
And that's what you need. I know you got your recycled paper one and everything.
Just got it.
I'm just saying. Well, for some reason, and I do not know why, on Amazon, this thing was $35.
What? The bag?
The tactical bag. It's
Oh.
a tactical. It's almost like one of those, military rucksack things.
Sure.
And it's got so many pockets and so many things. $35. I bought it last night. It was here this morning.
It's actually not bad.
I love it. But I'm hoping that's literally my afternoon. As soon as I'm done recording Stupids, that is my afternoon. I'm going to try to fit all of my new stuff in the bag and see if it works.
Dang.
If not, I got a new travel
Yeah,
bag.
if not, I guess I get the bag.
No,
What?
that's not how it works. No.
We've had some good trips together. We're going to have some good trips. So like I said, we're doing Kansas City in March and April. We're doing Countdown Improv Festival in Tampa.
In August 8th through the 10th.
I don't think we have a date yet, but
August 8th through the 10th.
well, what date we're going up.
Oh, no, we
but
don't know.
we do know that we're going to be there for sure.
Yeah, it'll be
so you can catch us there. You can catch us. So Tampa, we've got KC. We've got shows coming up in Chicago as well. Always, we'll put the links and all of that in the description down below.
If you want to give me any luggage,
Oh my God.
contact me through Instagram.
No. Here's what you're going to do. If you want to give Patrick luggage, contact him through me on Instagram.
And he will not tell me.
I'm like, Pat, you're not getting any hits.
Look
I
at
don't know.
this happened right after you were on the show. It's a coincidence.
Do you have a dumb little street joke or anything you want to end this bad boy on?
A dumb little street joke.
Yeah, like why did Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his field. What did the DJ name his son? Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Preston O'Phil. This is Patrick Newson, and this was Sugar Beats.